Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Hi, and welcome to the Christmas Time in the City YouTube channel. My name is Chris. Thank you so much for stopping by. In this video, we're going to be checking out a customized GeoGuessr map that I made that features 5 different Christmas locations around New York City. Let's get started. So the easiest way for people to find my maps on GeoGuessr is to go to my profile on GeoGuessr. I have a link to that in the description of this video. I'm going to scroll all the way down to the maps by Chris. That's me. We're going to play Christmas Time in the City. This is only the first of many maps that I'm going to be uploading. I just wanted to give this one a shot first of all. We're going to do a single player, no time limit, and moving allowed start game. Some of the areas I decided to use for the pin drops are actual 360 photos as opposed to Google Maps images. So you can't really walk around too much in them, but you can still get a really cool video. Anyway. We are in Central Park. This is Central Park Mall, facing north towards Bethesda Terrace and Bethesda Fountain. Let's walk through this way. If you look off to the side here, I believe this is where it's at now. This is quite an old picture, 2013. Yeah, this is very old. I believe it's a spot here. There's a statue now commemorating 3 very important ladies that I do not recall why they're there now, but I'll have some information on the screen. You can take a look at that. But it's a really cool statue. Before the statue was put into the park, there were no statues of any females at all in Central Park. So this is a pretty big deal. So moving on. It's always kind of funny to look at the people that are looking at the camera and just walking around. It's probably just a guy with a backpack and a big ball with cameras sticking out of it on top. But here we are. Right here, I believe, is where I saw a drum circle happening, and Leroy from The Last Dragon was there. It was last year during the pandemic, so we had a mask on, but I've seen The Last Dragon probably 150 times, so I know what Leroy looks like. I could tell by the way he was clapping. I was like, that's definitely a ninja. He's definitely the one. Anyway, it's a cool little theater here. I'm going to talk about this theater in another video, so stay tuned for that. And here we are at Bethesda. I wonder if we can get in here. Bethesda Terrace. Can't get in there, which is fine, I suppose. But we can cross the street here. Marvel and comic book fans will know this area here. I believe this is where the last scene of the first Avengers movie took place, where Thor and Loki are transported back to Asgard, presumably. That happens right here. I think Black Widow pulls up in a very fancy car here and they drive away. But yeah, this is where that was. You can take a look at that. But I buried the lead a little bit. We can't get too far down there. That's Bethesda Fountain right there. A lot of people assume that that's the fountain from Friends. Couldn't be further from the truth. The fountain from Friends is on a studio, or it was on a studio in Los Angeles, not in New York City. One of my favorite things to do is to go on Instagram and look for people who have tagged their photos with the Friends Fountain and point out to them that it's not the Friends Fountain, that it's Bethesda Fountain. I'm fun at parties. But anyway, yeah, this is a fun place to hang out. This is going to be the last point of what we're going to be calling our Christmas Time in the City stroll. It's a stroll that we're consolidated to kind of show you all the really cool parts of Christmas in New York City in one like 45-minute walk. We're going to be walking it a lot, different times of the year, so you get a different idea of what it looks like. This is where the walk is going to be ending, at Bethesda Fountain. Really cool area in Central Park. Let's go mark off where we started, though, just for fun. I don't want my score to go down. We started right here, I believe. Guess it. 6 yards. Not too bad. Next round. Here we go. This is a pretty cool one. Look at the labels. That's really interesting. Why does it have that? Blue lights, blue trees rather. Restaurant, ice rink, gold statue. This is hilarious. Lego store. And very interesting. Okay, well, something somehow this is the picture, but this is the picture of the Christmas tree at Rockefeller Center and the ice skating rink down here. Pretty cool. This is the Christmas tree. The Christmas tree is sourced throughout the tri-state area. Last year, I believe we found it in upstate New York. The lumber afterwards, after they take the tree down, is used for Habitat for Humanity, so it doesn't really go to waste. The trees usually are up for a few weeks after Christmas, so you have time to see it if you come in after the holidays. But it's a lot of fun to see if you haven't checked it out at least once. And then that's 30 Rockefeller Center. That's the big one right there. Okay. So let's mark it off. See, for this map, we can't move around too much. I should mention, that's Saks Fifth Avenue. They have a really fun light show. This is the scene from Home Alone 2. It all kind of happens here. Yeah. A lot of things happen here. But anyway, let's mark this off and get to the next one. Rockefeller Center. We started right here. Right? 35 yards. Where did I have it? Okay, whatever. All right. Next, we are in Union Square. Union Square has a really fun holiday market that runs in the winter. This, let's get the map up here. We can take a look at it. This is, I'm assuming, right here. This lower, yeah, right here in this lower part, temporarily closed, obviously, because it's not holidays currently. But it usually runs up this area here. They have farmers markets here during the rest of the year that kind of go all the way around here. Union Square is a really fun place to hang out if you've never been. You really get a really interesting taste of life. A lot of locals hang out here at Union Square. A lot of activism takes place in Union Square. If you're looking to take part in some type of discussion about politics, this is most likely where you would want to go. It's also some really fun shops and stores and stuff to do around Union Square. Yeah, pretty cool. So let's, just for the sake of filling this in, let's put in here somewhere. 28 yards, where I originally was going to put it. Great. Anyway, moving on. This next one up is a fun one. This is Bryant Park. Bryant Park Winter Village, brought to you by a bank that's not paying for any advertisements. So I'm not going to say the name of the bank, but it's the Winter Village. All around the corner, all around the ice skating rink, rather, is all these stands set up. It's local vendors, food vendors. There's people selling all kinds of fun wares and gifts, socks and stuff. Really fun stuff, paintings and things there. We do a lot of Christmas shopping here when we try to just find local vendors and things to try to put money back into the local economy. So we're staying off of like the big box websites and stuff just to try to give money back to our area. This is a fun place. The ice skating rink here is free if you have your own skates, and they do charge for renting skates, but it's not too bad. Last year during the pandemic, they didn't have a whole lot of this open area. It was a much different setup. And then this year, actually, a lot of these stands are still here. They've taken the number down quite a bit, but there's a lot of vendors still out in the area. And then one thing before we go on to the next one, get out of here. This is I'm sure it has a name, but I just always think of it as the fountain at Bryant Park. The fountain at Bryant Park is running 365 days a year. Even when it's freezing, the fountain will overflow and freeze like a big ice sculpture, which is really cool to see. Yeah, and this is, like I mentioned, Bethesda Fountain being the last stop for our Christmas time in the city stroll. The fountain is our first stop. So like I said, we're going to have lots of walks. We're going to be putting on YouTube walking tours and stuff throughout the year. This is where it always starts. It gives you an opportunity to start in the Winter Village. And then once you finish the Winter Village, you can take the walk up 6th Avenue, cross over to Rockefeller Center, walk up 5th Avenue, and then on into Central Park. But for the time being, let's mark off where we're at. We can make this map a little bigger. Bryant Park, where am I doing? Here we are. And I believe we are right here somewhere. 34 yards. Not too bad. The name of that fountain, by the way, is Josephine Shaw Lowell Memorial Fountain. Cool fountain. All right. Moving on to the fifth and final round. We are taken magically to Herald Square. Herald Square, obviously, is where Macy's is, the flagship Macy's store, 34th Street. You can tell, get out of here. You can tell this is during the holiday season because the windows up front are decorated. This is probably from a few years ago as well. Last year the windows were thank you to essential workers, and I had a lot of really fun things with that. But yeah, this looks like it's pretty early in the day. It looks like there's no one really out here. It's interesting. Yeah, but this is Herald Square. If you look where we're standing right now, or where the photographer is standing, this is exactly where they do the Thanksgiving parade, the stationary NBC filming. They have all the people come in, and whether it's the acts, like the marching bands, or whoever else they have, they'll have Broadway productions. They'll do it all in this little area here. They'll have the bleachers here. I believe bleachers over there as well. And then on the other side, I'm assuming is where they have the presenters set up here. Yeah, this is a fun area, Herald Square. Last I heard, they were trying to make more of it open to the public and less open to cars and such, which is fine. I think that's awesome. Especially as we kind of open up the city more and people want to spend more time outside. It's nice to have more opportunities to do that. I don't usually drive too much through Herald Square or around there, so I'm not really affected by that. I imagine it's probably a bummer if your commute takes you right through one of these roads, like 33rd or something. This is 34th. It could potentially be a bummer for you, but that's how it goes. It's not fun to drive in the city if you don't have to. So that's the takeaway from that. Let's drop a pin in. Sorry, I was looking at the Javits Center over here. The Javits Center is where they have New York City Comic Con. I'd like to maybe check that out this year. That might be something to consider. Anyway, let's drop the pin. Herald Square, I believe we're right in front of the entrance. I'll stick it right here. Be conservative. 12 yards, not too bad. So that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These are the 5 spots on the first Christmas Time in the City Geoguessr map. It's a fun thing to do. It's a fun game to play, but it's also a fun way to kind of check out the area. We're going to have a lot more of these maps come out. We'll have not only maps for New York City, but hopefully some other areas as well, especially some maybe suburban Chicago neighborhoods where a little kid might have been left alone from his family. I think there's some fun locations that we can probably drag up for that. But yeah, so that's it. Well, I think that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for checking it out. If you haven't already, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already to the channel so you don't miss out on more videos like this. We have a lot of other videos that are very New York centric as well. We have walking tours and driving videos and a lot more fun stuff planned in the future. So until next time, this is Christmas Time in the City, even if it's May.
This is the last stop on this train. Everyone, please leave the train. Thank you for riding with
Christmas Time in the City.